What boosts motivation when you're feeling emotional? Are you feeling overwhelmed right now? Maybe on the negative side, you're feeling some pressure. Or maybe on the positive side, you're feeling so excited that you can't focus on anything. In both situations, it's our emotions that's overriding our ability to think clearly and take action. So if you are dealing with this type of situation, this video is for you. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wintonio and I'm the founder of a mental health startup called Mind Designer. On this channel, we talk about ways to find the motivation you need to transform your life. And I can relate to this topic for this video in a lot of ways, namely because I am a startup founder and my motivational drive comes from the desire to help other people. I have a legit service bug, but my challenge initially was finding the right way to channel these emotions and to find the right vehicle for service that allows me to maximize my talents and also realize a certain vision for the future that I'd like to work towards through my startup. All of this took a lot of work, right? It wasn't overnight, but I can tell you that before I had this figured out, I struggled a lot with finding my way. You know, I don't want to have the wrong vehicle for expressing myself and living my vocation through the work that I do. I want to find the right way to express my desire to help people, and it was tough early on, but once I figured it out, I began to find a lot of satisfaction in the work that I do right now. Frankly, it was all the way back in 2013 when I began to think about the right way to channel this desire to help people. And the problem that I faced was finding the right avenue for service. And eventually the avenue that I discovered for myself is that of the founder, somebody with ideas and an ability to bring people together, build teams, and execute a vision, an idea. I'm not a specialist in a lot of things, but I'm humble enough to say, hey, let's get those people who know more than me, because then they can help me figure out what the best course of action is to take. Okay, so I'm saying all of this to say that I thought I had an idea of how I can best serve other people, but it turns out that I'm more of an ideas kind of guy, and rather than pursue a career in clinical psychology or occupational therapy, it's probably better that I become more of an entrepreneur or a facilitator and allow the specialists to do their thing. And I've realized that this role as founder is the right avenue for me and my emotions and the motivation I have to help people. This is the right avenue for me. This is the right way to go about it for me. But I had to go through a process and make the rational decision to take action in this way. So the analogy that best applies to this situation would be video games. Let's say there's a game that you just cannot beat. You play a lot, but you lose every time. And eventually, losing so much leads to learning and finding the way to beat the video game. And so, if there is a desired outcome, you can't just emotionally will your way to victory. In a lot of video games, you have to strategize or plan or practice to learn how to beat the game and eventually get the outcome you want. In real life, we can condense this scenario again down to a life situation where you have to take your emotions out of the process and prepare or plan or strategize or rationalize and think your way through the problem. And oftentimes it's finding the right strategy to get there that's required, as opposed to just feeling the need to take action. Because sometimes you may feel excited but not have the right ideas for how to win or how to beat the game, and nothing happens. Frankly, sometimes you're just too overwhelmed in a positive way or negative way that action doesn't happen. But with a video game, eventually the motivation to beat the game as you need to play it becomes the clear choice. And again, to get there, we sometimes take our emotions out of the process, and we realize that there is a method that needs to be followed to win. And so this is how you boost your motivation. Even when you're feeling emotional, you take your emotions out of it, because that's how you win. Your emotions sometimes don't really have a factor in a positive or negative way. Sometimes it's all about taking action. And so if this video is resonating with you, please take action, hit like, hit subscribe, and please support this brand new channel. We're just getting started, so please help us grow. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. So on this channel, we like to talk about finding the motivation you need to transform your life. And I do so by discussing a framework that I created called the 10 Principles of Self-Mastery. And when it comes to boosting your motivation when feeling emotional, the most relevant principle that applies is emotional regulation. And this principle states, lead your emotions rather than be led by them. The principle of emotional regulation matters because unchecked emotions can distort your decision-making and also corrode consistency. So when you're making a decision, you want to be as rational as possible. You don't want to have biases influencing you one way or another. And also with being consistent, if you allow your emotions to lead you, as the principle states, you're going to go from hot and cold every day, and it's hard to manage your obligations and fulfill them if your emotions are always obstructing your ability to take action. So, what are action steps you can take to manage your emotions? Number 1, breath control. Control your breathing. Number 2, mindful awareness. What are you thinking, and what is the quality of your thoughts? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they helping you, or are they harming you? And then finally, reframe your thoughts before reacting. Think about your situation in a different way that inspires positive action. So a lot of this may seem vague, but in reality, this process applies to any situation you or I are experiencing when we're feeling overwhelmed by our emotions. Okay, so this really does require us to slow down and to analyze our situation, all right? Because when we do this, this allows us to diffuse our emotions and then properly plan for the outcome that we want. So I use myself as an example of someone who had to work through a process of deciding which vehicle or avenue, career path, or vocation would be the right emotional outlet for me and my desire to serve other people, right? I went through a bunch of different ideas and considerations before landing on founder, but this was necessary for me to, take myself out of the process and really just look at things rationally. And so with the right mindset, right? If you're just emotional, there's not going to be much of a cognitive process of decision making that leads to a very specific outcome that you want. But if you do have the right mindset going into this thing, you can make the right decisions and get the outcomes that you want. That's the point. Get your emotions out of the way and then focus on reality. Focus on your situation and plan appropriately. That's the only way, right? We don't just do things out of impulse. We think about it, we rationalize, we strategize, we plan, we win. And if you are ready to begin your winning journey of self-discovery, please consider Your Essence Workbook. It's a comprehensive collection of wellness and CBT exercises designed to help you deepen your self-awareness. So please check it out, Your Essence Workbook. The link is in the description. So, what are your thoughts on the principle of emotional regulation? Do you have your own method of regulating your emotions and how you feel and decision making? Let me know. Drop a comment down below. Of course, again, this is a new channel, so please support us. Hit like, hit subscribe. My name is Wintonio. Thank you so much again for being here. And would love to hear from you guys. All right. Thank you again. See you next time.